Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf and weekly download episode number 125. On today's episode, I'm gonna be playing some weekly download. Hey. Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf and weekly download episode number 125. On today's episode, I'm gonna be playing some more Path of Exile. When I give you this news, I got my cup of coffee right there. Make sure you guys let me know in the comment section what you're sipping on. Let's get into it. Before we get into the tech and PC gaming news, let me quickly introduce our current favorite sponsor of the channel, Dev Mountain. Dev Mountain is a 13-week class for all of you aspiring iOS and web developers out there. Their 13-week class focuses on providing you only the skills that you actually need to go out there and start your new career in coding. They don't waste time with a filler curriculum like at a traditional college. They also feature student housing at no extra cost, a variety of different classes including UX design and QA testing, and most importantly, all of this is available at an affordable price. Head on down to that first link in the description to learn more if you're interested in getting that quick boost you need to start your new career in coding and design. To kick off the tech news with what I think is the best news of the week, we got a pretty good indicator that NVIDIA is planning to launch Turing-based GTX cards soon, specifically a GTX 1660Ti and a GTX 1660. The leak comes from a few photos of a presentation that NVIDIA apparently was giving to AIB partners. It wasn't supposed to go public, but the pictures certainly indicate that there's indeed some GTX cards coming. Now, we obviously don't have the confirmed details yet, but multiple sources and leaks are already pretty much confirming that the GTX 1660 Ti will be a ray tracing less version of the 2060, and there will also be two toned down versions, a 3GB and 6GB version of the GTX 1660. Either way, I really hope I get my hands on some of these cards soon, because this may just be the true X60 budget card that so many people want from this Turing lineup, so I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated on this one. Sticking with some graphics card news, we just got somewhat of a confirmation that 4 new AMD Navi GPU variants will be released later this year. This confirmation comes from the fact that someone discovered in a Mac OS Mojave update code that referenced 4 versions of a Navi GPU, which is almost about as confirmed as it gets. Inside the code there was a Navi 16, Navi 12, Navi 10, and Navi 9 listed. We aren't quite sure if these are completely different GPU dies or maybe just variants of the same die, but either way, this indicates that we aren't really that far off from these Navi releases, which should really have us all scratching our heads, considering we just heard about this brand new Radeon 7 card coming to the market here soon. Speaking of the Radeon 7, the next news is that AMD did announce this week that they will 100% have Linux drivers available for the new graphics card on day one of launch, which is only a couple of weeks away. I'm not sure how many of you know or care about this, but Linux drivers really do tend to lag behind a lot during these big releases like this, so this is obviously frustrates a lot of people. This may not pertain to a lot of gamers, but I'm personally working at a programming/developing company who may indeed utilize the Radeon 7 in a production environment, specifically on Linux, so this is really good news to hear for those kind of people. And just an FYI, no, I'm not a programmer or developer, I just work IT support for those people. Next up, we got some interesting next generation Xbox news. Not sure if any of you PC Master Race even care, but some rumors are indicating that this next generation Xbox is going to be a very powerful system with, you guessed it, ray tracing. This certainly is by no means confirmed information yet, but apparently a verified trustworthy forum member confirmed some rumors that have been floating around the internet the past couple of days. So far, the Xbox is rumored to have an AMD 8-core 16-threaded CPU, an AMD Navi GPU with ray tracing support, and even a 1TB NVMe SSD, which if true, would be absolutely insane. And finally, to wrap up the tech news for the week, a very interesting streaming mixer from Roland was just announced, and I have a feeling we will see a lot of products like this in the near future. This $1,500 box that's launching in Q2 of this year allows Twitch streamers to quickly switch audio and video sources during their stream, and it honestly looks super useful. There's 3 HDMI inputs that it'll take for those streamers that use multiple video inputs, but at this price point, only the real high-end streamers will even look twice at this thing. Moving on to our very short section of PC gaming news, I'm kind of reaching for articles this week to be honest, but Slay the Spire just officially left early access this week, and I actually like the game, so I thought I would share this. Slay the Spire is a solo PvE deck building roguelike style of game where instead of battling other players in games like Hearthstone, you actually work your way through the maps, and if you die, you start all over. Honestly, this isn't a crazy piece of news, but now that I'm talking about it, I really want to go play this again. And finally, our last piece of news this week is that the main head writer for Cyberpunk 2077 just left CD Projekt Red to join Blizzard, which is actually probably a big deal. Sebastian Stephian was also a creative director on The Witcher 3, so obviously he's talented, I would guess, and the fact that Blizzard was able to pull him in probably means that they're making big moves. Sorry I don't have anything else for PC gaming this week. Pretty boring week if you ask me. Well, that wraps up Weekly Download episode number 125. Now feel free to head on over to one of these two videos if you haven't seen them yet, and definitely hit the subscribe button because next week we're finally benchmarking a new game. You don't want to miss that video.